I thought, honestly, I did the best I could. I think, once again, sometimes in those certain situations and things like that, when things are pubbed up the way it's supposed to go, or pubbed up in a certain way people think, I mean, I try to fit in the best I could. If the coach asked me to do something, I try my best to do it, whether it was bring the ball up, pass the ball off, or doing anything else. I think one thing that took a big hit on it was I wasn't putting up 15 or 16 points a game. I felt like I took a big hit on that, but the last 2 months of the season, I just tried to fit in and shoot when I could, rebound, play defense and stuff. I think sometimes a lot of that stuff kind of gets blown up. So I don't think it was like me not fitting in. It's just I didn't do what people expected me to do, whether it became points or anything else like that. And I had certain scoring outbursts, and some nights I only shot 3 times a night or something like that, and that's just how the game goes, and you go along with it.
So let's get to the rest of the roster. Let's look at some of these new guys and one old guy. Evan Turner, he was an absolute stud scoring-wise, kind of a really talented all-around offensive player. Goes to Indiana. That kind of blew up completely in everyone's face there.
Did not work out.
But he comes here. He's happy to be here. He signs a 2-year, $6.7 million deal this morning. And although who knows when it was actually agreed to.
He made a lot of money this morning.
He did. It was a good day for him. So he
was all smiles today. Weird.
He's bigger than I remember him being, seeing him up close. I haven't seen him since in a few years. He's a big guy for a shooting guard. He's a pretty big guy.
You didn't see him last year?
Yeah. Well, I missed him last year, but
okay.
he's bigger than I would expect for a shooting guard. He really can be a small forward if he wants to, but he's dynamic enough that he can be a 2. You can put him pretty much anywhere you want on the perimeter. He's going to be able to score. And he came in today talking about how he had a mutual parting of ways in Indiana. Mm-hmm. He's coming here looking for a fresh start. He never felt like his game really got bad. It was just really a matter of him not really fitting in Indiana. In Boston, you can really fit in because there's not really any tight spaces to push yourself into with this team.
I was going to say Boston's like a puzzle where all the pieces are interchangeable. Like you can just build the puzzle in about 10 seconds, but you can build it like 20 different times in 20 different ways. So I think he, like you said, he fits in at the 2, fits in at the 3, and I think he can fit in at the 1. It wasn't somebody asked him if he could play 1. Obviously, I don't think that's the first choice, but I think in general
it's a choice.
Yeah. The fact that he can play in those 3 different positions just goes to show that his versatility and the type of player that he is. Like you said, did not work out for him at all in Indiana. I think he just came into a situation where they were a veteran team kind of at that time. They were all working for this NBA championship, and this player comes in from one of the worst teams in the league, and maybe they just didn't open up to him in the right way, or maybe he didn't feel like maybe just didn't feel like he belonged there.
Or Lance,
yeah. I wasn't gonna get into specifics, but it didn't work out. He wasn't going to start in the Pacers. It doesn't appear that he's going to start in the Celtics, although Brad Stevens said 14 players could start. That's what he said today. So I think you're going to have a hybrid of the situation that you had in Philly and in Indiana, where in Philly he was one of the go-to guys. He was scoring, like he said, 17, 20, 25 points a game. In Boston, I would be surprised if those were his numbers right off the bat, just because I don't expect him to get all that playing time that he got in Philadelphia. But as I was saying in the past, I think that there's going to be times where he's going to earn more minutes as the season goes, and maybe he does get some spots in the starting lineup, if whether it's due to injuries to other players or whether it's due to just earning it on the practice court. I think Brad Stevens is open to all different types of lineup combinations. He said that before, that you can do so many things with his team. He's not going to just rule a combination out right off the bat.
And Turner's one of the guys on this team that you're not expecting him to have a huge role at the beginning, but I am expecting him to have a bigger role by the end of the season, if all goes according to plan.
Agreed.
That's a big question with him, is it all going to go according to plan? But he brought up something, is that he said that Brad Stevens is a basketball genius. And it's funny how last year at Media Day, everyone was talking about how they're excited to learn about Stevens and all that. Yeah. And then today, the theme was more Stevens is a genius, and we're all learning from his genius.
Didn't take long, I guess, for his genius to shine.
Yeah. But so Tyler Zeller, new center for this team. They pick him up for pretty much nothing. Although they ended up sending Keith Bogans to Cleveland anyway, so the Bogans thing eventually happened. But Zeller is a guy that fits in with this team, and that they need someone that can put the ball in the hoop near the rim. They don't really have that right now. They have some high post guys. They don't have anyone that can do rim runs, all that kind of stuff. He fits that mold for them, but they need a guy that can protect the rim as well on the defensive end. Zeller, he's kind of looking towards trying to improve in that area, but Stevens brought up the idea of him being a guy that's running the floor, running on pick and roll, stuff like that. I mean, what did you see from him today that really stood out to you?
Well, I just think first and foremost, we all knew the Celtics needed a center. I mean, there were all those rumors that Joel Embiid was one of the guys the Celtics were really interested in. he went too high. They couldn't make a trade and go up and grab him. Now, Zeller's not going to – I don't think Zeller and Embiid are comparable players. But the point was they needed a center. When Vitor Faverani went down last year, they didn't have a legit center. And even Brandon Bass, I think, said that. So once Faverani went down, like, we were just kind of rotating, power forwards into that center spot over and over. So the fact that they got a guy who is a 7-footer, who is a center, who wants to play close to the rim, that's what he said. He said, actually, he plays pickup with Olynyk and Selmy, and those guys, they want to be taking threes, they want to be on the perimeter, and he has to go out there and guard them. And he's like, he just would rather be down in the paint, under the hoop, whether it's offense, defense. And I think that's what the Celtics definitely could use at, plenty of times during the season last year when they just were outsized down in the paint. So I think that's one of the, I've said this in the past, I think to you, I just think it's one of the sneaky good acquisitions that they could have made this year. Mm-hmm. And they, like you said, they didn't give up anybody for him.
You could pick up a guy that's at least backup, if not starting caliber, at that position for pretty much nothing. That's a huge win.
I agree. I mean, and this is a team where, like, look, if the Celtics were a championship contender, no, he wouldn't be starting center. He would be a good guy to spell minutes off for that starting center. He would be a good rotational player. Comes into a good station. This is a good situation for him right now in Boston. He's coming from a Cleveland team last year. He wasn't getting any minutes. Rookie year, he got some minutes. Sophomore year, his minutes went way down, and then towards the end of that sophomore year, he started to play. It was only maybe like the last 5 or 6 games of the season, he started to play way more minutes than he was playing, around 20 minutes a game. And the numbers showed with that increased playing time. So if he gets those minutes in Boston, we could be seeing better numbers.
All right, now quickly, the Vitor Faverani situation has always been a weird, fluid one. He hurt his knee. He didn't play. We found out, actually, that he didn't play any basketball at all during the offseason, and he just did rehab on his knee. So you can imagine he's going to come in rusty, although he's ready to play now, he did say. Now, there was a car crash this summer that he was involved in, and he was reported that he was under the influence of alcohol during that crash. Today, he said, one, that someone tried to kill him in that accident, so maybe that was kind of a translation thing there. But two, that he wasn't drinking, and that it was a minor accident in which there was just a dent in the side of his car, like a headlight went out. So it's a confusing situation.
Yeah, I think he said, like, they tried to kill me. I think he was saying, like, somebody tried to, blow the situation up, frame him, and all that stuff. I asked him specifically, I was like, were you in an accident? And he said, it wasn't an accident, it was like a fender bender, you know what I mean? Like, the guy's side view mirror fell off. And he said there was no alcohol involved, so I guess that's where
he wasn't disciplined by the team either.
No, he wasn't. We didn't get it. We talked to Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge spoke before Vitor. That question didn't come up, but nobody talked to Danny Ainge after that about what Vitor said. So I'm going to listen to what Vitor said. I assume that's what he's told the team, and that's what the team looked into and found to be true. So just a lot going on over there in Spain.
And Ainge did say that the team is not, they're not investigators. They're not going to be looking into the situation.
So
that leaves it pretty open-ended.
So they'll have their 2 centers hopefully healthy and ready to go preseason next week in Game 1, end of October.
And that's when we'll see you the next time. So for Jimmy Toscano, I'm Jared Weiss. That's it for the season premiere of the Garden Report. We'll see you Monday evening when the Celtics face the 76ers in the TD Garden.
No, there's no truth. Somebody in Spain tried to kill me, but he can't. So there's nothing happening. I'm here, Everybody knows in Spain this is no truth. So I don't care about this. He's not killing me, Somebody tried to put on the magazines and everywhere but it's not true. There's no truth. I'm talking a lot with Austin, and he just asking for me, there's truth or no? I say no, there's no truth. He talked with my people in Spain. They say it's not true. They say this is real. The people lie about me, so he believed me, and that's all. Yeah, I have a car. It's not car accident. I just broke one light right here. But he put a lot of things like jails or this is no truth. He lied.